Welcome back. Small-scale sugarcane growers are celebrating after receiving payment from Tongaat Hulett. The company owed farmers more than 400 million rand for September. Payment to commercial growers is still outstanding. Government is being urged to assist the company after applying to go under business rescue. Andrew Russell from the South African Sugarcane Growers, SA Canegrowers Association joins us now for more. Andrew, good afternoon. Thank you for your time. So can you confirm that some payments have been made and just, the outlines of what impact that makes in terms of your members?
Yes, thank you very much. We can confirm that some small-scale growers supplying those Tongaat Hulett mills at Felixton, Amatikulu and Maidstone have been paid for the deliveries of cane that they made in September. That payment was due at the end of October, but due to Tongaat Hulett placing themselves into voluntary business rescue, that October deadline was missed. We have received reports that many of those small-scale growers have been paid. We can't say all because we haven't checked with all of them, but that is more a feeling of relief for those growers rather than celebration. It is money that was owed to them, and we do need to note that the commercial growers who employ the majority of farm workers have not yet been paid, and we look forward to that eventuality as soon as possible to avoid further disruption to the sugarcane value chain at those sugar mills.
Yeah, and I imagine that it makes the situation even more complex, Andrew, doesn't it? That there's this prospect and this specter of voluntary business rescue, because now it's no longer a matter of a direct conversation with Tongaat Hulett. There's actually now the administrative processes that have to be engaged with, even as you try and secure payment for the larger commercial growers.
Yes, it does complicate things somewhat, but I have to say that the business rescue practitioners have been open and welcoming of our support and assistance. We have engaged with them during the course of last week, and those engagements were both positive and constructive. They did assure us at that time that they were intending to prioritize the payment of growers and the resuming of operations at their 3 mills and their refinery, which is part of their sugar production stable. And that's, those commitments certainly seem to be playing out. We do understand that it's been a difficult process for them to obtain the necessary financing, the post-commencement financing that they need in order to get the Tongaat Hulett operations back on their feet. But it's very reassuring to see that they have recognized the vulnerable position that small-scale growers are in. They've prioritized their payment, and we're trusting and hopeful that they will follow that quickly with payments to the larger-scale commercial growers, which will then allow them to resume delivery of sugarcane to the mills and resume the operations at those mills.
Andrew, given the size of Tongaat Hulett and its significance in the sugar industry in South Africa, what's at stake in this business rescue process, knowing that, sometimes business rescue works and sometimes it just doesn't? So with that prospect, what's at stake here?
Well, there's an enormous amount at stake. There are 4,300 growers that deliver sugarcane to those 3 mills. They deliver almost 5 million tons of sugarcane a year and employ over 14,000 farm workers. Of course, it's not only the farmers and their farm workers that are at risk. It's the entire supply chain. There's a network of hauliers, logistics operators, input suppliers, and other services to both the growing fraternity and the mills. So the livelihoods of over 20 rural towns in north coast of KwaZulu-Natal and Zululand are at stake. It is of very significant public interest that we find a way to keep those mills operating, not only this season, but onwards into the future as well. It's critical that we find ways, and It's for this reason that we have asked for appointments to meet with government officials, because we believe that they are a significant stakeholder and an important member or part of the process of getting these operations on a more sustainable footing going forwards.
Yeah, specifically, what would you like government to do? I'm imagining a situation where perhaps the state is watching this closely, but believing that perhaps let's allow the business rescue process to, to take its course and see what comes out and see if there's room for government to intervene. In other words, I'm asking you, does government have the option of saying, let the chips fall where they may? If the business rescue works, it works. If it doesn't work.
Well, I think that would be a very high risk strategy because of the catastrophic consequences that we spoke about earlier. We need to, all of the stakeholders, the business rescue practitioners, the existing management and executive and board at Tongaat Hulett, the growers, the other millers, South African sugar industry, and government all need to be working cohesively and cooperatively towards finding a solution. In this instance, I really don't believe that failure is an option. We have to find a way to make sure that those mills continue milling for the rest of this season. The refinery refines a very high proportion of the sugar that we need to supply the local market. That refinery needs to get up and running, and we need to make sure that they have the resources to do the necessary off-crop maintenance to those mills and to that refinery, so that next year they're in a position where they can open again as the season opens next year, and make sure that that value chain remains in place. The consequences are astronomical.
All right, Andrew Russell, let's leave it there for now. It's a conversation that I'm pretty sure we will continue to have in the coming days, weeks and months. That is Andrew Russell there of the SA Canegrowers Association talking to me about the payment that has been made by Tongaat Hulett and the business rescue practitioners to some of the small-scale sugarcane growers, and as he says, the commercial growers, many of them yet to be paid.